Welcome back to Andy and Anna Talks, where we dive deep into the most urgent, human, and sometimes uncomfortable questions of our time.
Great to be back.
Today, we're jumping right in, looking at something huge that's happening literally right now. AI. It's evolving so fast. Faster than us, it seems. So what does that actually mean? For us, I mean.
Yeah, it's a massive question. And it's not sci-fi anymore, is it?
Not at all. We're talking about tools you might already be using, like chatbots helping with resumes, AI making videos.
We're composing music, writing code.
Yeah.
It's becoming embedded.
Right. In this deep dive, we're looking at research articles, kind of trying to piece together what this means for our identity, our ethics, creativity, power, the whole shebang.
Exactly. We've been digging into studies on machine learning, reports on how AI is being used everywhere from, say, art to medicine, even some philosophy pieces trying to grapple with it all.
So the mission today is basically to unpack that for you. Pull out the key stuff from these sources and see what this speed really means in practice.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first off, this speed, it's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, think back just a few years. AI writing a decent email seemed futuristic.
Totally. And now,
Yeah.
it's almost normal. AI art, AI music.
Yeah, our sources really hammer this home. One report mentioned the computing power for training top AI models, doubling every, 3.5 months or so for the last decade?
Whoa, okay.
That's an insane rate of growth. Now, put that next to us, humans.
We don't exactly double our brain power every few months.
No. Biologically, emotionally, culturally, we change. But it's much slower.
Yeah.
Some researchers talk about our Stone Age brains, trying to keep up.
So you've got this, AI rocket ship and our human bicycle. It feels unbalanced.
That's the core issue. AI capabilities are just exploding exponentially. They process information on scales we can barely imagine, but our fundamental human abilities, pretty stable.
And that raises a huge question, right? Can our systems, our laws, our values, schools, everything, can they actually keep up?
That's exactly what a lot of these sources are asking. How can they when this tech doesn't need sleep, doesn't age, doesn't forget things the way we do?
It operates outside human limits.
Precisely. One article really made me think. It argued our whole way of understanding the world is built on, human scale, human time, human memory. And now we're dealing with intelligences that work completely differently.
Okay, so where is this gap already obvious? Where's AI already, way ahead?
Well, the most obvious is just raw speed and scale of processing data. Several sources highlight this.
Give me an example.
Okay, medical imaging. There was a study showing AI algorithms spotting tiny patterns in scans, patterns that pointed to disease years before human doctors could reliably see them.
Years. Wow.
Yeah, just down to that sheer processing power, sifting through billions of data points in basically no time.
That's, hard to wrap your head around.
It is. And this ability to chew through data leads directly to amazing pattern recognition. Think financial markets spotting complex trends, or predicting what shoppers might buy with scary accuracy. Facial recognition relies on it. AI is just incredibly good at finding those hidden connections in massive data sets.
Connections we just totally miss.
Almost certainly, yeah. It's like having this super detector.
What about areas we think of as more human? Like being creative?
That's a really interesting area, and sources definitely talk about AI's growing skills there. We see AI writing poetry.
Some of it's not bad.
Right. Composing music, making visual art. Some AI architectural designs we saw in one article were genuinely impressive, both look and function.
But is it really creative? Or is it just copying?
That's the crucial distinction most sources make. Its creativity comes from learning patterns in massive amounts of existing human work. It's mimicking, it's competent, sometimes surprisingly so, but it doesn't have the human driver, No intrinsic motivation, no lived experience, no actual feeling behind it.
So it can make something that looks creative, but the spark isn't there. It doesn't understand it.
Exactly. One of the philosophy pieces we looked at really dug into this. AI simulates intelligence. It can simulate creativity, but it doesn't have consciousness, no subjective experience.
Which is weird, right? Because it can do the task so well sometimes, you can't tell the difference.
It's unsettling, yeah, becoming indistinguishable in some tasks, even without real human understanding.
Okay, so AI wins on speed, scale, pattern matching. But what about us? What do we still do better? For now, anyway.
Okay, yeah, the human edge. Sources consistently point to things like emotional intelligence, empathy, intuition, moral judgment.
things AI can't really feel.
Right. AI can analyze data about emotions. It can read sentiment in text, maybe, but feel sadness.
Yeah.
Or understand grief. No. It can process ethical rules, perhaps, but it doesn't have a conscience based on lived experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. It can see a sad face icon, but it doesn't get the weight behind it.
Precisely. And that lack of real emotional depth really limits it in messy, real-world situations. Think about trying to change a diaper during a power outage.
Oh, yeah, good luck programming that.
Or mediating a fight between toddlers, or even a complex business negotiation. These things need empathy, reading between the lines, building trust. AI isn't there.
So the unpredictable, nuanced human stuff is still our domain.
Absolutely. The sources often talk about human superiority and meaning-making, understanding subtlety, irony, humor.
Sarcasm must completely break it.
Probably. Ethical dilemmas, the full range of emotions, it's all deeply tied to context, which AI struggles with unless it's got explicit data. We can connect ideas, guess based on tiny clues, understand the unspoken stuff.
Which brings us to the really big, maybe scary questions.
Existential ones.
If AI keeps getting better at things we thought made us special intelligence, creativity, reasoning, what does that do to our idea of what it means to be human?
That's the core philosophical challenge in a lot of these readings. If machines can do our things, does that make us less? Does it devalue us?
It could make people feel irrelevant, like we're being replaced.
That's definitely one potential outcome, discussed a sense of being outpaced, maybe even obsolete. It is unsettling.
But is there another way to look at it?
There is. Some sources suggest a more hopeful angle. Maybe AI handles the grunt work, the heavy computation,
Freeing us up.
freeing us up to focus more on the truly human things. Deep relationships, empathy, creating meaning, art, philosophy, care.
So less drudgery, more humanity.
That's the hope. But, and this is a big, but in the sources, we have to tackle the ethical stuff now.
All right, who controls it? Who owns it? Who's responsible when it goes wrong?
Exactly. These aren't questions for later. They're here. If we don't set the rules, put up guardrails, we could lose control in ways we really regret.
Which leads straight into jobs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the immediate anxiety is.
For sure. The fear of mass unemployment is real. But again, the source suggests it's maybe more of a massive shift or transformation than just straight replacement across the board.
Okay, so not just robots taking over everything.
Not necessarily. Think about it. AI might automate, say, basic report writing or simple data entry. Yeah, some jobs will go, but it can also be a tool that makes humans better at their jobs, more productive, more capable if you learn how to work with AI.
So new skills become important.
Definitely. We saw reports talking about new roles emerging, people who train AI, who check its work, who manage AI systems ethically. The key skill becomes thinking with AI.
Like curating its output, questioning it, editing it.
Exactly that, being the critical human layer, verifying things, guiding it. Human oversight becomes even more important, ironically.
And what about jobs that are already heavy on the human skills, like nurses, therapists?
The consensus in our sources is that those roles needing deep empathy, hands-on care, ethical judgment, cultural understanding, they seem safer, at least for now.
Because AI just can't replicate that genuine connection.
Not yet, and maybe not ever in the same way, and it's always a but. With this speed, things are changing fast. Complacency isn't an option. We need continuous learning, both tech skills and those core human skills.
Which brings up something else. Are we actually, emotionally ready for all this? The tech is sprinting, but are our heads and hearts keeping pace?
That's such a critical point, and yeah, many sources touch on it. This emotional readiness gap might be the biggest challenge of all.
How so? What are we seeing?
Well, think about the pressure from AI-perfected images online, the impact on self-esteem, identity.
Yeah, the comparison trap gets supercharged.
Exactly. Or just the background hum of anxiety for workers wondering if their job is next. That takes a toll.
And trying to figure out what's real anymore. A deepfake video, an AI-written article.
It's exhausting. That constant vigilance, the potential for being manipulated, it leads to decision fatigue, maybe even a kind of learned helplessness or cynicism. Our sort of emotional software wasn't built for this speed and uncertainty.
It feels like we're emotionally underdeveloped in a world that's digitally overdeveloped.
That sums it up pretty well, which makes emotional intelligence, mindfulness, ethical thinking, they're not soft skills anymore, they're survival tools.
Okay, so if that's the landscape, what can we actually do? How do we stay grounded, stay human in the middle of all this?
Right, the practical stuff. Sources offer a few key strategies. First, maybe most importantly, know yourself.
Meaning?
Understand your values. What really matters to you?
Yeah.
What are your ethical lines? What are you feeling? AI can process data about us, but it can't do that inner work for us. Self-awareness is key.
Okay, that makes sense. What else?
Second, stay creative in your own way. Doesn't have to be professional art, just activities that use your unique imagination, your perspective, that's still fundamentally human.
Embrace the personal touch, the imperfections.
Exactly. Third, connect deeply with other humans. Prioritize real relationships, real community. Face-to-face time, meaningful conversations. That's something screens and AI can't replace.
Quality human time. Got it.
Fourth, be intentional with AI. Don't just passively accept it. Learn a bit about how it works. Question its answers. Don't let it do all your thinking for you. Use it as a tool consciously.
Be the driver, not the passenger.
Nice way to put it. And fifth, protect your attention. So much AI is designed to hook us, distract us, keep us scrolling. We need to actively choose where our focus goes. Practice being present. Set boundaries.
Mindfulness is a defense mechanism almost.
You could see it that way. It's about reclaiming your mental space.
So wrapping this up, the big takeaway is this isn't theory. This AI evolution is happening right now, impacting us already.
Absolutely. And while the speed is stunning, speed isn't wisdom, power isn't purpose. Those still have to come from us.
And we do have agency, right? The future isn't set in stone. We get to decide how we use this, what kind of future we build, what kind of humans we become.
We do, and maybe the real challenge isn't just understanding artificial intelligence, but remembering and strengthening our own intelligence, our consciousness, our kindness, our curiosity, our connections.
Maybe keeping those human qualities front and center. Maybe that's how we navigate this. Perhaps this whole era isn't the end of humanity, but forces us to really understand what being human is all about.
That's a hopeful thought to end on.
Thanks for joining us on Andy and Anna Talks.
My pleasure.
Until next time, stay human. Outro music fades in.